It's a great day to be in real estate. This is Duanebeisner, sales manager and sales representative for ERA. Another exciting day. For the quote of the day, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time, by B.J. Marshall. And for the joke of the day, Larry was startled to see the nonchalant way Jason was taking the fact that his girlfriend had been seen with another man. You said you loved her, man, and yet you saw her with another man, and you didn't even knock the guy down? I'm waiting, said Jason. Waiting for what? Asked Larry. I'm waiting to catch her with a smaller guy. Now for the business tip of the day. Business is like a poker game, and everybody else is out there set to try to take all of your chips. If you don't know the rules or you don't know how to play the game, you'll eventually end up with nothing. Think about it. And for the Darwin Award of the day from the United Kingdom, oh dear, yet another man has got his hoo-ha stuck into a pipe. Taking many delicate maneuvers with a blowtorch and the metal grinder to cut him loose from the steel. And might as well say it, Iron Maiden. All told, 7 firefighters and medics were involved in the operation. The crew was worried about getting things a little too hot during the cutting, said a tongue-in-cheek spokesman for the Hampshire Fire and Rescue. That has to be very embarrassing. How did you get your hoo-ha in there in the first place? Okay, for the social commentary, this is an interesting article from Politico. Why Obama loses by winning. You know, the passage of financial reform, just a couple months after the passage of comprehensive health care reform, should decisively end the narrative that President Barack Obama represents a Jimmy Carter-style case of naive hope, crushed by the inability to master Washington. Yet the mystery remains. Having moved swiftly toward his political objectives that he promised voters as a candidate, Obama is still widely perceived as flirting with a failed presidency. Eric Alderman, in a column in The Nation that drew wide notice, wrote that most liberals think the president is a big disappointment. House Democrats were at near insurrection after White House Press Secretary Robert Gibbs stated the obvious, that the party has a chance of losing the House under Obama's watch. And independent voters have turned decisively against the man that they helped elect 21 months ago, a trend unlikely to be reversed before November. It's an odd reversal of expectations. When he came into office, the assumption even among some Democrats was that he was a dazzling politician and communicator who might prove too unseasoned at governance to win substantial achievements. Yet the reality is the opposite. You can argue over whether Obama's achievements are good or bad on the merits. That's a whole other video. We won't get into that today. But especially after Thursday's vote, you can't argue that Obama's not getting things done. To the contrary, he has, as promised, covered the uninsured, tightened regulations, started to wind down the war in Iraq, and shifted focus and resources to Afghanistan, injected more competition into the education system, and edged closer to a big energy bill. And in my opinion, short, has turned us into a socialist society, and it will continue to do so. The problem is that he and the West Wing are not especially good at politics or communications. In other words, largely ineffective at the very things to which their campaign reputation was built. And the promises he made during the 2 years of campaigning have turned out to be much less appealing as actual policies. But there are many other reasons for Obama's woes based on interviews with the officials in the administration on Capitol Hill and with Democrat operatives around town. There are 6 reasons why Obama is perceived as failing to win over the public, even though by most conventional measures he has clearly succeeded. First of all, the flight of independence. A recent poll by Democrat Stan Greenberg's Democracy Corps found that 57% of likely voters regard Obama as too liberal. You think? Number 2, the ideology quandrum. What is Obamaism? Conservatives think he stands for backdoor socialism. Yes. Liberals think he's a sellout. Independents think he's a president with no clear compass and who's breaking the bank with excessive spending. Yes, again. Number 3, the likability factor. Many Democrats on the Hill don't like Obama much, or at least his circle of advisors. They think that the White House makes them take tough votes but doesn't care much about the problems those votes leave politicians facing in tough races in 2010. Exactly. And next, his West Wing is unsteady. A lot of attention was paid to how Obama surrounded himself with powerful and skilled personalities in his cabinet. Hillary Clinton at State, Robert Gates at the Pentagon sit on top of that list, but Democrats privately complain about the real power center, the West Wing staff, isn't nearly as impressive. Also, the next thing is numbers matter. Obama swimming up Niagara until joblessness improves. But even while Obama doesn't directly control the economy, he has not been a disciplined or effective communicator about the state of the economy and his prescriptions for it. People will tolerate a weak economy if they feel there's an upward trajectory, but Obama has not managed to instill that confidence. And then finally, the liberal echo chamber. Polls show that most self-described liberals still strongly support Obama, but an elite group of commentators on the left, many of whom are unhappy with him and are rewarded with more attention by being critical of a fellow Democrat, have a disproportionate influence on perceptions. So we'll see how things turn out in November. Now for the real estate news. Commercial turnaround likely next year. Vacancies are still increasing in many parts of the United States, and new commercial construction will be sparse this year, said Kermit Baker, chief economist for the American Institute of Architects. But there are a number of factors at play here that are contributing to one of the steepest construction downturns in generations, said Baker. We have businesses nervous about expanding their facilities, a fragile financial sector, excess commercial space, and general unease in the international economy. He predicted that demand for retail, hotel, healthcare, and recreation facilities will result in a turnaround in 2011. I don't know. It didn't sound like there was anything to make us think it's going to turn around in 2011, but whatever. He's the expert, not me. Frugal tips for making a home more appealing. A lot of people, whether they're selling their home or not selling their home, they want to fix up their homes, but they want to do it as cheaply as possible. So this is mostly for homeowners who want to sell, don't have a lot of cash to spruce up their properties. So first of all, polish up the kitchen. Number one, add new cabinet door handles, replace lighting, and update the faucet set. Those are all inexpensive. Unless the cabinets are mica, give them a fresh coat of paint. Order new doors for kitchen appliances. Tidy up the bath is number two. Replace the toilet seats, clean up the floor with vinyl tiles or sheet vinyl applied to the old floor, regrout the tub, and if the tub is dingy, add a new prefabricated tub and shower surround. Next, paint the walls, obviously. After that, add closet systems to all the bedrooms, pantry, and entry closets. Next, hire a plumber and electrician to fix anything that's loose or that leaks. Next, clean the carpets, or if they're worn, cover them with area rugs. Next, replace ceiling lights with inexpensive but attractive fixtures. Next, refinish or repaint the front door and replace the hardware. And finally, mow the lawn, edge the sidewalks, and mulch all the beds, and put two big planters at either side of the front door. All that being said, it's still the best buyer's market you and I will ever see in this lifetime. If you think about buying or selling anywhere in the world, give us a call. This is Duanebeisner signing off. Happy trails to you as always. Proud to be an American.